tall lady with an axe.
Yeah.
Tall lady
Tall
with an
lady
axe.
with an axe!
Which conveniently Jade did not use an axe, I don't believe.
No, she had a glaive.
That's right, she had a glaive.
But she started getting
Buried.
she took
Yeah.
Path of the Beast or whatever for barbarian, so then she started using her fisticuffs and claws.
Yeah. Some buried lore in the lost campaign to time of Curse of
Of
Strahd.
course of Strahd.
That's
Look,
not
man,
why we're here.
I obliterated somebody's, yeah.
But that's not why we're here. We're here for Adventures in Middle-earth tonight.
I hear the
Oh, boy.
music.
Let's get nice elven music in there and calm everyone right the fuck down.
Because later we're gonna fuck them up.
Hype time. Hype
If
time
you
for campaign.
if one of us dies tonight, that would be tragically sweet.
Oh no, I would quit.
Good.
I'm always down for player death.
No.
Nick's in chat busting out the Backstreet Boys.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be me.
That makes you larger than life.
Hello?
Oh my God.
DMCA? Cool, thanks. Alright. Alright, so. Let's dive into a wee bit of a recap, shall we? Everyone,
Irish accent.
20.
Fuck!
Irish.
It sounded like it. Uh-oh.
I want perfectly in the middle. Oh no!
Your natural 20 on this.
Where was that last
Burn
night?
them early. Matt, would you give us a recap, please?
Okay, so we started the session in the field of battle after the sun had risen and the vampire had fled.
Oh no.
Big
Oh, yes.
gave
Tall
her
lady with an axe.
tall lady with an axe gave Cirion her cloak to help stop him from the bleeding. Malvhor tried to say something poetic about Cirion betraying his own men, and Cirion was just like, I don't care. I've done this. I've told enough people that their loved ones are dead. It doesn't faze me.
That's right.
And then we returned back. We convinced the name is escaping me. Captain Turgon. We convinced Captain Turgon that Cirion should go to the House of Healing for his wounds, because he's probably just a hair's breadth away from death. And the rest of us returned to the Bastion to get some food and to go to sleep. Or at least that was the plan before Malvhor decided to return to the House of Healing with Fig following him to ask some questions of Cirion, which he found out that apparently Cirion took some soldiers to the mine we initially cleared to retrieve the barrels of blood and bring them back. And Malvhor deduced, it might not be true, that these barrels of blood are the tribute the vampire was demanding. When brought up to Captain Turgon had no idea what Malvhor was talking about, and Malvhor suggested a plan of action to attempt to parley with the vampire and attempt to gain more information. And while Captain Turgon did seem open to the idea, he told us to let him think about it, to return to Pelargir, and complete our delivery with Rador, and then perhaps that's a course of action we could pursue. Maname, while we were at the House of Healing, told us to, if we found ourselves in the Greenwood, near Amon Lank, to seek out Lachion, because there is a I believe, a delivery of herbs that we could bring to Mana Ame because her supplies are low. Locke reviewed the notes while we had some downtime and came to the conclusion that some sort of archway is being built with the dark ore from the mine. The specifics have not been uncovered yet, but there are mentions of various items, substances, essences, or focuses to be used in the ritual. And some of them seem to be potentially for elven design or crafted by the elves. Some of these items seem to be potentially crafted by the elves. Locke said he had his own mission to follow up on, and he departed from us. Cirion told us all about his part in Minas Ethel's fall, and as well as the history of vampires. And then we, I believe we began our trip back to Pelargir at that point. I don't think we actually got there yet.
Mm-mm.
So, and that was last session.
Correct. Ding, ding, ding. Like it was an incorrect question. Regardless, take your inspiration.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it for that persuasion check.
Do the two of you have inspiration at all?
No.
I don't think I used it. I had to pull up my sheet. I wasn't ready for that part.
I know, Kevin, last week you used the Roll20 free reroll that...
Yeah, I did. So I'm good. I still have inspiration. Yeah.
Okay, so Lindsay.
It was worth it.
Yes.
This might be an edge question.
Great, because I have no notes on the last 2 episodes because I was so into them.
I don't believe this was a tidbit of information that was actually brought up in character. It was just discussed above table.
Oh, even better, because I tune myself out if my character is not there.
On the topic of vampires.
Okay.
Vampires were creatures that were aligned with Morgoth during the War of Wrath. And there was a particular island where they called home. What was the name of that island? It's a bit of a trick question.
I remember it being mentioned. I have... I got no idea.
Alright.
I don't even know if it's worth trying a guess.
You can venture a guess.
Say like the Isle of Vampires or the Isle of Blood.
I know, I'm thinking like the Isle of Blood or Blood for the Blood God or whatever. No,
Not even a guess.
I don't know. Does it start with a V?
No.
No, then I'm not
Valinor.
I'm seeing
That's what,
like the Bible.
The name that we mentioned in last week's session was the Isle of Werewolves.
Oh.
Bit of a trick question.
Damn it.
It has a few names, but the one we specifically called out last week was Isle of Werewolves.
Crap. Okay. No, I don't have notes on the last 2 sessions because I was really into it.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine. That's why VODs exist for more reason than another.
Yep, and haven't gotten to them.
Check.
Yeah, well, all right. Well, with that, so you all sort of mix things up a bit as swapping roles for your return journey to Pelargir. With time Cirion at the helm of guiding you all back south towards the city that you now, for the most part, call home. And the day you depart is a fairly auspicious beginning. You're filled with some questions and some unease, but overall you do feel rather good about the path that you're on for now. And only in time will you know if the path you've tread remains true or is false. Several days into your journey, as time passes and the sun sets, the moon rises, and the whole cycle begins anew, there comes a particular night when you're all fast asleep on your way back. One second.
Changing the music. I'm not prepared.
Guys, I'm scared.
Oh,
Fig.
just ambiance.
Fig. You find yourself trudging a familiar path into a heavily wooded area as you are reminded by the birds chirping and the various critters of the wood scurrying about, and the familiar sound of branches breaking under heel. You round a corner around a tree, and you come face to face with a familiar individual, an elf, a young elf of almost medium to long length brown hair, as he stops you. Come on, we're almost there. Follow me. And you continue to follow his path, and you eventually come later to a rather eerie sight. An area that not many elves in this day and age tend to tread near. But for some reason, the two of you felt it wise to adventure out this far south. And you find staring up a large peak of mountains in stone and rock that jut out from the middle of the forest. You look to the familiar face. Should just be inside. Come on. You blink a few times and your vision darkens, and then you find yourself just ever so slightly in a dimmed area, where the light begins to be sapped from the environment itself, and you hear the dripping of the moisture from stalagmites and the various cave-like surroundings. Is that playing?
Yeah, I hear
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Vigdis, come on. What are you waiting for? This is hardly the worst thing we've done.
Does this seem familiar?
Seems very familiar.
Am I realizing, like, am I in a state where like, do I know if it's a dream? Or is it just, like, all too real feeling, I guess? Or hard to tell?
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right.
You roll a 3. It's as real as the day itself. You feel it, you smell it. The dankness of the moist air of the caves. Sounds of the water rushing deeper within, the echoes of your footsteps on occasion.
I'll step forward a little, and I'll cautiously look around, trying to let my eyes adjust to the darkness. And I'll just quietly say, we must be careful. We don't know this area too well.
That's part of the reason why we're here. To explore, to adventure, get away from everything back there. Come on, only go in a little bit further.
Fine. Lead the way.
Your elven companion sort of shifts his shoulders and his quiver of arrows rings loose a little bit as he grips a bow in his left hand. And on his hips you do see a short sword. He gestures you on two of you explore the winding cavern for what seems like hours on end. You hear the various creatures of the night and those that dwell in caves begin to squeak and chirp, bouncing off the cave walls, at times a bit disorienting from where you are, trying to locate where certain sounds might be coming and gain your bearings of where you came from. You blink a few more times and the vision sort of shifts, jumps forward in time, and you are jet up against the wall, breathing heavily, as your friend comes running past, and you look to the side and you see blood dripping from his forehead down to the side of his face. Which way is out of here? We have to go. Fig?
Back behind us, quickly. Quickly!
No, lead.
I'll start running.
You start running, and you guys are trying to backtrack the way you came, and the sound of incessant squeaking and chirping growing louder and louder, and almost sounds of like wind following. No, that's not wind. It's a fluttering. It's a leather-like flapping in the air that echoes off the walls and seems to be getting closer and closer. And at one point, you blink again, and you see a whole brush of brownish leather blur swoops past the two of you, colliding into most of you, and you both bear down, and as this hurl of ominous creatures fly and flutter past you, you both hug the base of the floor to gain your breath.
Bats.
It's just bats.
Just bats.
You should have seen your face, Fig.
You should see yours, Galad.
Oh, maybe we should have listened to Adathor. Maybe we shouldn't be out here.
Maybe, but you always say it never hurts to dare a little more.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Well, we should probably try and at least get back to daylight. Now, as he continues to speak and look back and forth as he's trying to get his bearings, we come from that way. In fact, they're probably heading out for the night. We can probably follow them. And you see, sort of a foot, maybe 2 feet behind off of his left shoulder, you see these two large, beady black eyes just shimmer in the light ever for a moment. And at the very same time, you see this large mouth, this maw of sharp, jagged teeth.
Galad!
As you see Galad grabbed and thrown into the wall. Fig! Get out of
Galad!
there! Go, get!
No,
As it
not without
reaches
you.
down and clambers over top of him, and you see this large shadow-like figure just begin to claw forward and grab onto one of his ankles and start dragging him back deeper.
I'm gonna slice down with an axe.
Your axe comes down, it's true. It strikes across this arm, this claw, this foot. It's hard to tell in the light. As it recoils and hisses at you, and Galad scrambles to his feet. Go, we need to go!
I make sure he's with me as I run.
You both run in as fast as you can down the winding caverns. You look over your shoulder, and you see this large creature leap to one side of the wall, and then further down, and coming all the way through, gaining ground on you almost immediately, as it comes down with both arms and pins you both to the ground.
I'm going to... Oh, go
As
ahead.
it raises its one arm and just comes slashing down with the claw across your face. And then picks you up and then throws you further back into the cave.
I just charge forward.
You charge forward back at the creature, and you leap on its back as you bear the axe into it. At the same time, Galad grabs his short sword and flips it around, and then drives it through this thin, leathery membrane of the creature. And as it recoils back from both of you, and it reaches up over its shoulder and throws you overside back to where you were. Galad, wringing himself free and standing, leaving his sword behind. Go! We need to go! As he begins to run, the creature reaches out with its mouth and takes a chunk out of his right shoulder. Ah!
No!
Fig! We need to go! Get out of here!
I just want to ram into the creature to knock it over and just try to grab him and go.
You lurch back at the two, and as you collide, you just hear the echoes of Galad. Fig! Go! Go! Go!
Not without you!
And the vision breaks.
Oh, great! I was not ready for this! I'm gonna...
And in a cold sweat, you awake to sunshine in the middle of an open pasture along the side of the road, the chirping of birds, and the chattering of squirrels.
I'm just gonna sit up quickly with a small grin, and I'm just gonna catch my breath. Just like... Is anyone else awake, or is it just me?
You sit bolt upright and quickly notice that Cirion, poking the remnants of the fire from the night before, and Malvhor are both awake.
Oh! I slept in!
Do I notice her, like, jerk up like that?
Fig, how violently do you sit up?
I think it's an easy enough startle up to notice, no matter who you are with perception.
Okay.
Definitely quick enough movement to be like, whoa, what?
Ah, good morning.
Sleep
Oh.
well.
Morning. Yes, fine.
Do I kind of like notice? Do I notice like her? I don't want to say displeasure, but just kind of like her offness, lack of a better word.
She's been awake for all of 30 seconds, so she appears a little groggy, if anything.
All right.
The manner in which she woke up could be bad dream, nightmare.
Mm.
I'm just rubbing at my face to get rid of any sweat.
Just gonna look back. Rough night.
Just a dream of an unpleasant past.
Nothing
Well-
more than a nightmare, then. I don't mean to sound... That sounds dismissive, and I don't mean to dismiss it.
No,
But-
you're right. The past is the past, and it seems it's come up a little more with that meeting with the vampire, but I don't know that word. Oh no, we did talk about that word. Yes.
You guys,
Okay.
it was discussed.
But it's fine. Something that happened, but resolved.
Well, resolved is good.
Resolved is good.
Or
But-
maybe that's the wrong word, but
Well, if you wish to talk about it, we're both here to listen.
oh, it's the day that my friend and I first ran into them and got attacked.
Oh.
Yeah, I imagine that would be traumatic. It was just you and your friend. How old were you at the time? Give me a rough estimate. You don't have to give me an exact year. You can say I was a child, or I was an adolescent, or I was a teenager, or I was a young adult.
I believe it was adult, technically. Not... young adult? I don't really know my age, so...
So you weren't a child, though.
No. But it was a number of years back. Before he and I both left Greenwood.
Well, there's no need to be concerned. You're safe now. It's
Thanks.
unfortunate that to have nightmares about it, but nightmares are...
They're a reason we drink.
they almost seem inevitable some days.
It could have been a lot worse.
Thank goodness it wasn't.
He almost died, but did not, so we both survived.
Oh, when did you last see him?
Maybe 5 full rotations ago. Years, I think is the word.
Just don't let that number get up to double digits. Then you're in trouble.
It's funny you say that. The way you describe how you left Goldwind is a little familiar to how he first left.
Oh, he left you?
Well... yeah. Yes, to put it simply.
Do you know where he went?
I just shake my head.
Us having be guessing. Well, here, there, everywhere. Sounds about right.
Well, someone has to know where he went.
He felt a
He does.
similar calling to out of home like you did. So he left.
Well, most people return to home. Someday. Look at me. We're on our way back to Pelargir right now.
That's true. I suppose, worst case, we both have one of these. And I show the ribbon at the end of the axe.
Oh, he has a matching ribbon.
Yes, this was a gift when he left.
That's touching.
Cirion cracks a smile. Sounds like a good friend indeed.
Well. We should hit the road before we burn too much daylight.
And Cirion's gonna get up and adjust his weapons on him and everything. Go, shall we, friends?
Where are we, Cirion?
We're right here. As I kind of crack like a little like sarcastic smile.
Ah, yes. An excellent guide indeed.
I'm just gonna smirk as I stand up and do like a big stretch to just shake out the rest of the weird vibes. God, you made me sweat. I was not ready for a full anxiety attack of a dream.
They said that was an intense stream. That was cool. You're muted, Brian.
Oh, yeah. I was waiting to see your mouth move just to make sure.
I muted myself while I was messing with stuff, so I forgot.
No, you're good. I just saw you talking, and I was like, oh, he's muted.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what might have been causing any popping, so I don't know. So, you all set your eyes onward back on the path, gather up your gear, break camp, what semblance? Electrostatic? I don't know what that means.
So, still a few days out then.
At least.
Hey, as far as trips go, though, this has been pretty uneventful.
Shut up, Malvhor. They're always listening.
Did you say we're in the woods? You can nod if you're muted or whatever.
I am not muted. You're not in the woods. You're basically in a pasture, like a
Oh, that's right.
field for the most part.
Gotcha. I'm gonna, as I pack up my stuff then and kind of roll it up and get ready, I am gonna take off my boots though and wriggle my toes in the ground and just do a big breath and relax my shoulders.
You realize you're gonna get mud in your boots that way.
I've had
that's
worse
the least
in
of
my
her
boots.
concerns.
I've had worse in my boots and elsewhere.
But you ever get that rock in your boot that you just can't get rid of?
Until I lived with the elves, I used to always be barefoot.
I imagine you built up quite the calluses.
I look at my feet.
It might as well be stone.
Meanwhile, while those two are talking, Cirion is trying to find the right path to take us down so we can get our asses moving.
Alright. Simple enough. It's pretty much a main road between Pelennor and Pelargir. This is a route you guys have traversed several times in the past month or two, and you've grown fairly accustomed to it. And it's the first time in a while that you've had to walk it without the fear of being accosted by rangers or questioned by Gondorian patrols. The events in Osgiliath are, for the most part, and quite literally, behind you.
I can't wait till we get to the gate.
The path is pretty much now safe. And because of that, since you guys have walked this route so many times, and story events have taken place, we no longer need to do journey events between those two destinations.
Oh!
So if a journey is between those two cities, either direction, unless course of events change, we will no longer require embarkation rules or anything to that effect. I will take liberty to do random encounters if need be, but for the most part, it's a well-traversed path. You have a map of the area, and it's now a safe route. So,
is it safe because we've walked it so many times?
It's safe because you now believe no Gondorians are searching for you with malintent.
Okay. So I was gonna say we could just walk every road in Middle Earth then and save Middle Earth.
I don't know how much time you think you have before you die of old age, but sure.
I'm going to do a whole lap around all of Middle Earth. That'd be a fun little campaign.
Dies a week later.
So over the course of the next few days, to get into the countryside of Pelargir goes fairly uneventful. It's par for the course. You come across travelers every now and again, some wandering rangers, but yes.
Are there any herbs I can collect on as we traverse?
Give me a nature check or a survival check, your choice.
Can I get for my herb lord?
Does an herb lord give you proficiency in the ability?
No, just a background funny thing. It's a The elves have taught me things.
Sure.
No, it's fine. Oh, I'll take it.
There, fucking take it.
Which one do I want to do? Oh, I'll do this one.
What'd you get?
I am never going to roll survival ever again in my entire life as Fig.
What'd you get?
I
A 7.
have a question. Could I roll a survival check for just hunting, since I'm technically a hunter, see if I can show Fig up at all?
Oh, I have viewer inspiration!
Sure.
Don't you dare. Fuck!
I mean, not for a successful hunt. 9 won't work. Oh, wait, no, sorry. 11.
Technically better, but not by much. I'm not gonna brag about that.
That's pretty much what I've typically rolled.
Yeah, you got like a hair. That's about it. And now you have to go explain to Gollum what they're for.
Boil 'em, mash 'em. Wait.
I mean, that gives more potatoes.
So, your journey between Pelennor and Pelargir pretty much goes without incidents. It isn't long until in your 9-day travel that you round the hilly countryside. You can see the city of Pelargir sitting just nestled on the Anduin in the distance, in the farm fields and the pastures just outside the city wall. You've returned home.
Yay.
What is your destination?
I don't know about them, and I don't know if they're gonna talk about it, but I'm going to Goldwyn's.
Hey, you two.
I was waiting on Lindsay.
Sorry, I was muted to type in chat. I'm going to follow. Just say, hey, we're back. What's up?
Okay.
Don't split the party. Yep.
Okay. Alright. So, once you've arrived, you pretty much all stick to the path that winds between the farm fields and the various ranches and the pastures that either have livestock or some do have their own horses if they don't wish to go through the stable master of Pelargir. But you follow the path, it gets closer and closer to the wall, and eventually you veer off towards the sort of parallel, heading a bit westward, towards the cottage of Goldwyn. And when you get probably about 60 or so feet from the cottage, you see a small individual just out ahead of you, walking with their back to you, heading in the same direction. Looks very familiar. It's probably Laura.
Yeah, I'll just call out and be like, "Hey, Laura!"
Oh, who in the blazes? Oh, you're back. That's about bloody time.
I mean, it takes a long time to walk to Osgiliath.
Yeah, well, I don't have time to chat, so you better heel toe it.
I'll heel toe it and catch up.
As you catch up to her as she continues walking, your pace and your gait are a little bit quicker than hers, so you catch up to her before reaching the cottage, and you notice that she has a couple of small leather satchels that she's like cradling in her arms.
Do you
Welcome
need help?
back. No, these are just herbs.
Oh.
Things been quiet since we've been gone.
Far from it. A couple of days after you left, Merwin fell ill. She's been running a fever for almost a week.
Uh-oh.
A fever.
Aye. Clammy hands. Warm to the touch, yet sweating constantly.
So it's been how long?
At this point, up around better part of a week. Probably a week and a few days. Odd timing too. This isn't even winter, it's so far off. Don't know where she would have caught this.
I worry this is... I worry this is a side effect of what she went through when she was captured.
Are you saying this might be unnatural?
It might be. I'm no doctor, though, so I couldn't...
At this point, you guys are pretty much right at the threshold of the door. She sort of stops and lets you finish your thought before moving any further.
We need to find a healer. I mean, I assume we've already talked to a healer.
Well, we've been doing what we can with our own home remedies, assuming this might just be a flu of some sort. But if you think this might be unnatural, then perhaps we should take her somewhere else. Don't really want her to travel, though. You know, I mean,
Well,
there might be somebody in town.
I would check in town first. If not, then we could see about bringing somebody here. But anywhere we go is going to be a journey.
Aye.
Let's get inside. And, we'll figure something out.
She sort of stops you before you going through the door. You can make up your own mind, but if you're pretty sure this is unnatural, let's maybe keep it from the lady in there. Don't need her getting herself worried sick as well.
I won't tell her, but I won't lie to her either.
I don't know if I can't make her do anything. Just a suggestion.
And, Malvhor goes in.
Opens the door, you walk in. You can hear the crackle of fire inside, and it sounds to be maybe like a cauldron boiling water of sorts, or some sort of liquid. There is my sound effects.
Which is cauldron.
Cauldron. Do I not have that? It was probably in the tavern. That'll do. So I can kill the grasslands. Kill the grasslands. You walk in and you hear the sound of the fire and the bubbling of some sort of liquid. You don't immediately see Goldwyn, but as you all sort of walk through, Merwin walks over towards Laura walks over towards the kitchen table, dining table for the most part, and places the leather bags down. Mom, I'm home. I found some strangers on the road. And before you hear a response, you hear sharp coughs coming from the next room. A moment later, Goldwyn comes in, wringing her hands. Her hair is sort of disheveled and looking like a little bit of bags under the eyes, seeming she's not sleeping too well herself. Strangers indeed.
Hopefully not too strange anymore.
Depends on the day.
Laura filled us in with, Merwin. I'm sorry to hear she's not feeling well.
Yes, she has come down with quite the nasty little flu. But we've been attending to her, and Laura here has been quite lovely in fetching the herbs to manage what little bit of the fever that we can. Making any sort of stew from whatever lovely catch she gets from out there as well.
Well, since we've returned, we could help. There must be a healer in town.
I believe there could be. There's a scholar somewhere. Young scholar. I don't rightfully remember his name, but he is in town, and I have sort of mixed reviews amongst us of if he's actually worth a salt or not.
Oh, is this the one I think Cirion and I met one day?
Potentially. Some scholars in the House of Law dabble in sort of healing and in salves, but most of them, if you ask me, are just history learners. You can try there for sure.
Merwin. No. Erwin. What's his name? Aram! I mean, Arab.
Well, I mean, we're
He was
heading,
in my notes somewhere. I was about to look.
we're heading into town anyway pretty soon. I wanted to stop by and say hello because we just got back. We could check on that, and if you need any errands run, you seem to have your hands full right now. So if you need anything run into town or anything taken care of, as well, we've got 6 arms.
Take your time. Do what you have to do. We've managed this far. But if you're making your way back here, if you can pick up a loaf of bread, it'll be help with the stew that Laura will be making. Oh, I'm making it now, I see.
I could try my hand at cooking again. It went well last time.
Got me out there picking plants, killing animals, and now you want me to cook. Alright, I get it. So, we can manage here. Go do what you need, and we'll be here when you return. Loaf of bread, and if you have any sort of athalas, or you can find that, that would be.
Wait.
With a little bit-
I will produce.
volunteer mine.
No, I volunteer mine.
Okay. Sorry. Jesus.
We all just chuck Atlas salve at them.
Like the camera's only on Goldwyn, and then just off screen, 3 arms with salves just bumping. No, take mine. No, take mine. No, mine.
Boys.
While we were
And woman.
while we were in
Sorry.
Osphiliath, we were blessed with acquiring some Atlas salves from a renowned healer. And I produced my salve. Please take it.
Oh,
Flex on us. That's fine.
this will do wonders. If anything, it'll help with the pain, any sort of fever.
Do you say that as Cirion?
No.
I was gonna say I'll just gently elbow you. Otherwise.
No. Cirion like, fine.
That would have been fun.
Okay. Well, you have your.
Dear, I have some medicine for you.
I will let you get back to caring for her. We're heading to town, and if we find anything helpful, whether or not we found anything helpful, I will at least return with a loaf of bread.
It's appreciated.
And
Okay.
Owl leaves.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Cirian's gonna look around like that silence. All right, good talk. I'm gonna go look for something to help with this.
As soon as we all get outside, I'll step right next to Malvhor and I'll just be like, this seems a little familiar, actually, when my friend was wounded by the vampires, he had high fever too, but we thought that was an infection from his wounds. If you think Merwin's fever is unnatural, then maybe there's a pattern here we can figure out.
How did your friend recover?
Naturally, but I don't remember if there was anything different from what the elves did and I to heal, or my parents and I. But perhaps she just needs more time to heal.
But she's
If
still young and he's older, so who knows what kind of effect this is having on her versus him. I say...
I know, I was just wanting to mention it for some potential relief or
Of course.
information on the matter.
Of course. I say, unless you two have any other suggestions, we go trying to find a way to cure this from the library. Yeah.
we do have to deliver Rador's notes to him. That was the whole point of our.
Yes.
Well, yes. Sorry, I got sidetracked with.
We should.
Because my mind got put on one mode. Let's go deliver Rador's notes. Who knows? Maybe even he knows what to do.
Maybe.
If you're comfortable talking about that with him.
Right now, I'm comfortable talking about it with anybody if it means there's a chance of fixing it.
Well, let's make haste.
Rador first, then.
The parlor.
Rador first.
To the parlor.
Which cats will we see? Will we see? I have to go back in my notes.
All of them.
Will we see Fenya, Xanthi, Nibs, Kip, Gur, Darian, Leia, Zaltera, Miriam, Serpentine?
Jesus Christ.
No, that's not one of them.
Well, we're naming one of them that now. Don't ask me what for. We're naming this one Jesus Christ. Why? Mind your business.
No.
Kip?
So, you three with the interesting news that you weren't expecting sort of sours the mood of your return. But you head into town, crossing through the gates and past the stables, sort of into the main square, the Westgarth, and head up sort of the side streets towards the bakery, Fig, that you bought the honey from.
How much money do I have? I have no money.
Yeah, we're not getting, we're doing a whole lot of not getting paid.
Some bullshit.
For once in her life, Fig is unhappy she doesn't have money.
It's a barter and trade economy.
What do I
Plus,
have? A whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, guys, it's a barber and braid economy.
What?
You walk past the open windows and are greeted with the familiar sense of freshly baked breads and sweet honey cakes of sorts, and continue on down the side streets heading towards the parlor. As you round a corner and get on sort of the street that the parlor sits on, probably a block or two away, Cirion, with your passive perception, you see two... what?
There's a child scream.
Audio. It sounded like the child was getting eaten by something.
Cirion, with your passive perception, you hear a child getting eaten.
Siri just kind of like off the back.
I'm sorry. It was so loud.
Hold on, so Cirion is gonna take out his sword and he is going to run upstairs. And you hear a bunch of... Stop! No! Oh God! Comes back downstairs, just beaten up a little bit.
Welcome to Barovia.
Oh no!
This is just a really fancy prologue to Strahd.
Jesus
Pelargir.
Christ, what a mind fuck that would be.
We're building up to it. This is how I roundabout bring that campaign back.
Yeah.
No, with your passive perception, you see about a block or two down at the parlor, sort of coming out of the front door, two cloaked individuals in like a slate gray or black sort of cloak. The hood's up, and that's about all you can really make out of it, and it's just abnormal. You haven't been here for 2 weeks, and it's not. You didn't see any other patrons, so it looks like new clientele has come through. But they come out of the front door and sort of cross your field of view across the street and disappear before you get any closer down, like another street or another alley. But you all continue onward, coming up to the familiar sign of a cast iron sign sitting above the doorway that looks to be like a little cup of steaming tea and a cat sitting on top of it. You walk up the stairs and walk inside, and you're immediately accosted by 6, 7 of the cats that are just sort of sitting in the main foyer, that are either looking at you as the door opens and almost in unison.
Are there any right when we walk in, like at our feet?
There's like 2 right at your feet.
I just scoop them up in a hug.
There's two at your feet, and on the right there's like a small little shelf that one is just sort of sitting on its back, and its head is looking right back at you, upside down.
Ah, scoop them up in a hug. And I'm just like, I'm one-arming all 3 of them, and I'm just petting each of their heads.
They start purring.
Hello.
About 5 seconds later, Dorsey rounds the corner. Oh, hello, welcome back. Good to see you again. I hope you missed me as much as I missed you.
I have missed your company and your tea, Dorsey. It is good to be in your warm halls again.
Well, in that case, would you like me to whip up a pot of tea?
I would appreciate that, especially if Rador is present. If you could invite him as well, we have much to discuss.
I believe he's down the hall on the right, second door. I will whip up some honeysuckle tea.
Much appreciated, Dorsey.
Jots down the hallway and into a offshoot room that you've seen go into multiple times. You assume to be a kitchen of sorts.
Well, no reason to dally. And Malvhor marches down to Rador's room.
I bring the 3 cats.
Go down the hallway.
I'm just gonna pet one as I walk by one. Just kind of like a brush, and then keep walking.
You walk down the hallway, and about 2 doors, you come to a room where the door is just sort of ajar, or it's not fully shut. And you sort of knock twice, and as you do on the 3rd one, you just sort of push it open, and you see leaning over a small circular table, and some parchment in front of him and a quill. And as the knock happens, you see him sit up and shuffle the papers. Ah, my friends. I trust on your return that means your journey was successful. How was Osgiliath?
Oh,
It's lovely this time of year.
It was an absolute disaster. And I'm pretty sure we've left it better than we found it.
It was difficult, yes.
We managed to get the martial law lifted.
Impressive. Sounds like a bloody good time.
Yeah.
Except for the vampire. And the attempted coup.
About what?
Yes, what do you know about vampires, Rador? That sounds very threatening, but I just got some bad
Right
news.
to the point.
This guy's just gonna like drop his tea where he sits. Just like, huh?
I was bit by the vampire.
You should probably have that looked at, my friend. What do I know about vampires? Well, that is a loaded question. Is that one you actually wanted me to answer?
I mean, it would be helpful if you did know anything, but that isn't why we came here. We have your notes.
Wonderful. I would love to get my hands on them. But as far as vampires are concerned, they are
They are
a
somehow...
shadowy myth. A shadowy myth as old as time itself. There are stories from the War of Wrath and the early First Age, and the ages before that. The elves might know more, but they were aligned with Malvhor, and they wreaked havoc on his behalf. There was one in particular, I believe her name was Thuringwithel. Thuringwithel.
I have no idea how to spell that.
T is in Thorin. H is in Haldir. U as in I can't think of a U character from Tolkien. And I will just put the rest in Roll20 if you care to have this bit.
Appreciated. I don't know what Roll20 is, Rador, but I trust you.
Rador does.
Holy shit, that's
Middle
a name.
Middle Earth's phonetic alphabet system.
Thuringwithel, she was one of the, I think the great vampire for a long time. She appears in the story of Baron and Luthien, and I believe was a messenger of Sauron.
Do we know if she's dead?
Oh, she's long dead. Yes.
That's been confirmed. Because, I mean, the vampire we ran into was a woman, and she didn't give us our name. She was too busy trying to slaughter us.
Well, wasn't there, and I'm by no means an expert on the topic. The stories say that she died. I know nobody in possession of her remains, though most of what was around during that time is now beneath the sea. So, well. But the lesser vampires have probably scrambled to shore and found ways to survive. I believe there's an old elven tale, or a song, even, that might speak of it. But I'm not familiar.
Well, I believe vampires are intertwined in whatever happened in your mind more than we know.
Well, that surely thickens the plot, does it not?
It does. I have reason to believe the blood we found in your mine and elsewhere is being used as tribute for these vampires. To what end, I don't know.
I wonder if... He closes the book and sets it aside. A hypothesis could be that whatever the blood is as a tribute, as you surmise, could be an offering of good faith or tributary to gain either an audience or even an alliance of sorts. Hard to say.
Well,
As
It does.
a wee bit of new information to me that I haven't really accounted for. I wonder if there's anything to do with it in this tome
it is
that we've been
something.
scouring over.
It is something to ponder. And perhaps, I imagine we will run into them again. They seem very angry at having lost their tribute. Angry enough to attack Osgiliath and all of its guards.
That's disconcerting. That means they've either grown desperate. Desperate beast. It's a dangerous one.
Well,
You said you only encountered one. Let's hope that that's all there is.
I think if there were two, we'd all be dead.
Does anything weird happen if you get injured by them? Or
Malvhor rubs his neck.
or I bitten?
They have a few magical sort of aspects of them, at least as far as the stories are concerned. Either able to sort of charm their way into wherever they wish, often appearing as beautiful young maidens to fool whatever prey they may be stalking. Win the hearts and minds of their enemies, and then being able to turn them into a spawn. Essentially, one of them. A bite can do it, I believe, but I believe it has to be intended.
Somebody got bitten a lot at Osgiliath.
Is there a way to tell if the intention was there?
Intention, you would only know by the side effects that come thereafter as they begin to change.
Like side effects such as, do you know them?
Pale skin, trouble in sleeping, sensitivity to sunlight, high fevers.
Is there any way to stop a change if it begins?
Some may. No. I don't. These are all legends.
Would
The vampire hasn't been seen in several hundred years.
the elves surely would know, though.
Very well might. The closest ones from here are going to be in the Greenwood.
That is a long journey.
The other thing is that I believe. Now, wait a minute. Now that I think about this, the vampire stories are often referred to as a curse of sorts. And if it functions on the same, lack of a better term, rule base as curses do, the one who bestowed the curse could, in theory, break it. Either willingly or by their death.
So, you kill a vampire to break a curse.
It's one way. Or you can convince them to willingly sever the connection before it fully changes.
Oh boy.
I doubt that happens often.
No record of it in my knowledge, but then again, I have a very set area of knowledge. Vampires are a bit out of my realm.
I think we are all thinking the same thing as I look at Malvhor and Cirion.
Is there something that's transpired that I should be aware of?
I just kind of glance at Malvhor.
Well, unsure. A child that we recovered recently is exhibiting flu-like symptoms of fever. But I guess the real kicker is sensitivity to sunlight. We don't know if that symptom is present. So we don't know if it's just a sickness from the trauma of being captured, or if it's something more sinister.
I'm gonna put the cats down because I forgot I was holding them, and I'm gonna
Having this super serious conversation, just holding cats.
So I'll say that when I say I think we're all thinking the same thing, I'll put the cats down because at this point I'm going to slowly run my fingers through the ribbon at the end of my axe in deep thought.
Yeah, 2 of them were probably starting to like wriggle free, like let me down.
They were probably gently like nibbling and clawing at her, and she's just so prone to all those little scratches. She was like, huh? Anyways.
If you wish, I'm no expert, but I do dabble on a bit. I could examine the girl for you. Or the child, sorry, I'm assuming.
I mean, you have a 50-50 shot?
I mean, that could determine if we need a healer or not.
Very well.
Perhaps.
There are scholars here in town who might have a bit more know-how in the stories and the legends. Pelargir hasn't really had a proper healer in a long time.
Okay.
It might be best to get a more for sure answer before we go looking off at scholars.
Well, I need to stretch my legs. If you wish, I can accompany you, and you don't have to back and forth.
I'd be honored by your company. You too?
It's up to you, Malvhor.
But we have to lose.
It wouldn't exactly. It wouldn't hurt. I do have to pick up a loaf of bread.
Well, I believe that's on the way. As he stands up, and as he does in the doorway comes Dorsey with a tray of tea. Oh.
My deepest apologies, Dorsey. An emergency has occurred with a very ill child that we need to tend to.
I'll take one and just drink it.
It's scalding.
You shotgun it, just like.
Oh God!
I already did it once before in this. I blow on it like twice and then just go, ah.
Dear girl, your throat. Oh my. Okay, fine.
I've eaten and drank worse.
I have
but this is good.
I have a few other clients in town. I'm sure if I leave this on the stove, they'll return and drink it. Now shoot.
Oh.
I just kind of glance around, like, did we just get shoot? And I'll just walk out.
He looks right at you.
Snippy. He just got snippy with us. Oh no.
Yep. You guys, with Rador in tow, head back out and head toward. Yes.
I will quickly turn and go, I'll catch up. I'll try to pick up something too. And I run to the bakery. Wait, we're going to get bread, aren't we?
It's like you're going there anyway.
Never mind. I'm walking with you. Sorry.
Wait, we're going the same way, Fig.
Oh.
Alright, bye. See you later. Continue to walk the same way.
Oh yeah, I know it. That's just so awkward. Oh, you're parked here too? Look at that.
She's like, we're on one side of the street, she's walking on the other. I go, alright, Fig, Jesus.
You guys head back out and make a quick pit stop at the bakery. Malvhor, you can, if you have 3 copper to...
Let's see, do I have even 3 copper? I do have some money! I have 3 copper. I hand it over.
Cool. You get a warm loaf of bread.
Oh! Sorry, I just remembered something.
Yes.
Continue.
Yes, what is it?
Nothing for the baker. It's more for Rador. I'll tell him when we get outside.
Oh,
Okay. Oh my god, yes.
then I want to approach the baker and point at the honey buns. And I'm going to, this is stupid, but whatever. I'm going to pull out the, the 3 nondescript bone pieces I still have.
I got some bones for honey buns.
And I'm just gonna, without laughing, I'm just gonna look at the baker and go, how many can I get with these? I'm sorry. I'm
gonna give you
a
two
chaotic
options,
nuisance.
I'm gonna give you 2 options, and I'm pretty sure I know which one you're gonna pick, but I'm gonna present them anyway. You get a persuasion check at disadvantage,
No.
or an intimidation check.
Oh God! What can I get with?
I'm not even trying to be intimidating. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
You said just straight intimidation?
Intimidation or persuasion at disadvantage.
Alright, I'll do. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do intimidation because mechanically speaking, that helps you out more. What's my persuasion? Yeah, -1. No.
It goes to jail.
I don't think I haven't rolled above a 10 so far, other than the trivia or the recap stuff.
He looks right at you. Ma'am, this is a McStraws. I'm done. I'm just gonna. He gives you 1 honey cake just out of, like, he's confused, but at the same time a little put off. He's like, maybe this will just make her go away. But y'all head back outside, continue on your pathway back to Goldwyn's. Cirion, what did you have?
I'm gonna look at Rador and go like, before I forget again, and I'm gonna pull out the pouch of the gold that he gave us and put it in his hand. You said you wanted this back.
Ah, yes. Thank you. You go out on an errand for me again, I'll be sure to give you some semblance of a per diem. That's Latin, but I don't know what Latin is, but you get the point.
First I'm hearing of it, sir.
Excellent.
We did use some on our trip, but there's still some there. Rightfully yours.
Acceptable. Perfectly acceptable. We'll continue onward back out towards the countryside of the city. That's where we're gonna take a break.
Oh no! I want to see if she's a vampire.
Hail, adventurer! Are you a dungeon master with a desire to transport your players to fantastical settings? Perhaps they are deep in the dungeon of a mad lich.
Fools, you've intervened for the last time. Let's see you survive my fireball.
Or perhaps the party has just come across bandits, and the Goliath monk releases a flurry of blows and a stunning strike to gain control of the conflict. Nice rolls on the attack. Or maybe the party is taking a breather after another difficult quest. If this sounds like something you want at your next TTRPG session, then head over to battlebards.com. By subscribing to BattleBards Prime, you get the ability to immerse your players in your campaign. You'll get complete streaming access to the libraries of both BattleBards and Plate Mail games. And whether your game is in person or virtual, you won't be limited as you will have access to a caster and a mixer to be able to broadcast the tracks to all of your players. And of course, if you want to download and keep any tracks, then you get 20% off all in-store purchases. So what are you waiting for, adventurer? A quest posting at the local guild hall? Get over to battlebards.com and subscribe today, and use the coupon code ADVENTURE at checkout. Stay proficient, adventurers. Hail, adventurer. Are you a dungeon master with a desire to transport your players to fantastical settings? Perhaps they are deep in the dungeon of a mad lich.
Fools, you have intervened for the last time. Let's see you survive my fireball.
Or perhaps the party has just come across bandits, and the Goliath monk releases a flurry of blows and a stunning strike to gain control of the conflict. Nice rolls on the attack. Or maybe the party is taking a breather after another difficult quest. If this sounds like something you want at your next ttrpg session, then head over to battlebards.com. By subscribing to BattleBards Prime, you get the ability to immerse your players in your campaign. You'll get complete streaming access to the libraries of both BattleBards and Platemail games. And whether your game is in person or virtual, you won't be limited, as you will have access to a caster and a mixer to be able to broadcast the tracks to all of your players. And of course, if you want to download and keep any tracks, then you get 20% off all in-store purchases. So what are you waiting for, adventurer? A quest posting at the local guild hall? Get over to battlebards.com and subscribe today, and use the coupon code ADVENTURE at checkout. Stay proficient, adventurers.
Alright. So, don't punch the microphone.
It fell forward, and I caught
Don't
it.
tell me what to do.
And now it's not.
Well,
Okay, I got it.
Good?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on it.
Yeah, you never know what it's gonna do next.
As you walk through Pelargir, heading back out the west gates with Rador, it does take a moment where he looks over the three of you. I see that you're down one companion. Where's Locke?
He struck out on a personal quest, of which he didn't give us the did not give us the details, but he made a discovery that forced him north, I believe.
Pity. He was quite useful.
He was, and a good friend.
So, where's your friend and the child reside? As you lead him through the town.
At Goldwyn's cottage. I don't know if you know are aware of her.
I don't believe I am. I haven't taken the liberty to converse with many here outside of Dorsey and a few others, but by all means, lead the way.
Yes, just follow me. It's not too far.
You all head outside the city walls and down the street and come to the familiar cottage of Goldwyn's. The smoke billowing out of the the chimney. Ah, this is a fairly sizable plot of land for somebody out here.
Well, she does manage all the horses for the city, so...
Oh! Then odds are I have met her and just never bothered to get to know her. Oh,
Well,
by all means.
She doesn't know the Goldwyn still believes the child, her child's illness to be natural. We have not discussed with her the possibility of it being unnatural.
Well, as of now, we have no evidence of anything, so we'll pray that it is natural and it will run its course in time.
Yes, but I'd like to be as sure as we can be.
Absolutely.
I knock on the door.
You knock. Moment later, you hear footfalls from the other side, and the door opens. You're greeted by Laura. Yeah. Every time you leave, you come back with somebody new. What is going on here?
Well, I
You
have...
leave one. You're down one when you return, and now you come back again hours later. And who is this?
First off, loaf of bread.
Thank you. Mom, I got bread! She just sort of walks back and, come on in.
And to answer your question, this is Rador, scholar, famed scholar and advisor to the king.
A pleasure to meet you. Isn't she charming? So he leans into you and whispers to you, Malvhor.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I mean, yes, she is. I think you're being sarcastic, but I think she is.
If she's sick, she looks perfectly fine to me.
That's not the child. I made the same mistake. She's a hobbit.
Not familiar. Oh, are they? They're one of the halfling tribes.
Yes.
The Harfords.
The Harfords.
I'm a stole. Follow hide. Me. Very well. Moments later, Goldwyn comes in. Oh, you're back, and you brought bread.
And a scholar.
Ah, Master Scholar, very good.
Goldwyn, this is Rador, scholar and advisor to the king. Rador, this is Goldwyn, horsemaster of Pelargir.
An advisor to the king, as she sort of curtsies and bows. What brings you to our lowly farmstead? Please, ma'am, it's neither here nor there. I've befriended this troop that you see before you, and they've helped me on several occasions, so I might be able to lend some assistance here, if you're so kind. Well, if Malvhor and his friends vouch for you, then I see no reason to inhibit your progress. Very well, then if it's okay by you, then may I inspect the child, or is she currently preoccupied? She is finally sleeping, so you might actually get a chance to examine her without any interruptions. Very good. Those that wish to can follow me, or you can leave me to my work.
Malvor's definitely gonna follow him.
I'm gonna go in and kind of be off to the side in case he needs a runner or anything.
Yeah, I was gonna follow up to the door frame of the room and just stand back. Or wait in the hallway and be back.
Very well. If I had assistance. As Goldwyn shows him to the room, and you go into a part of the cottage you haven't really been in before, and it's a small sort of bedroom for the most part. There's a hay cot in the one corner. It's a small one, probably roughly a twin size. and some furs draped over it, and you see a pale Merwin sleeping beneath them, a pail of water. A pail of water.
Pale.
A pail of water sitting next to the bedside, and a horn cup of sorts, or a bone cup sitting next to it, like on a nightstand of sorts. Well, it's good that she's sleeping. Rest is always good for these sorts of, as he looks back to the group, ailments.
Is there a window in the room?
There's a small window, yeah.
Is it open, closed? Is she near it? Is there a sunbeam going through it?
What angle
There
is the
is
sunbeam?
The front of the house faces south, so the wall, so no sun directly comes through that window.
But there's an open window?
There is an open window, yes.
Okay. Just curious.
Okay. Well, you don't mind, as he walks over and picks up a small stool that's sitting next to it and slides it over next to the bedside and sits down. Takes a few moments and places his head to her chest and just sort of listens. Runs his fingers along her arm. Some lacerations on her arm. Do we know what that is from?
Oh, she had them when we rescued her. She was in the clutches of Mordu.
See.
Quite a traumatic experience.
I can only imagine. These seem to be precise lacerations. Nothing meant to do damage of any sort, it would seem. Puts her arm down. Goes up to her face, places the back of his hand to her forehead. Ma'am, how long has she been running the fever? About a week. A few days. Takes his thumb and sort of lifts up her eye and takes a look at it. Bloodshot. Takes her jaw and tries to open it ever so slightly. You just hear her mutter, well, that's good news.
Oh.
Subtle joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really gotta think about that one.
Yep.
I was like, what? What's in her mouth?
She's very clammy to the touch, and the fever is, well, concerning. Doesn't seem to show any signs of, sort of like animal-esque transference of disease. You know how kids play out in the field and may be, get a cut and have a bug or something crawl on them and get into the wound, or something, you know, bite them and transfer disease that way. I don't see any signs of marks around her body that might suggest such a thing. Is he just sort of like darting his eyes, trying to be like, am I being coy enough?
Yeah, I'm picking up what he's putting down.
No. I think that this might stick around for a bit longer than one would care for, but with the proper attention, she should pull through. This is by not near as concerning as a winter flu. It's spring, and she'll recover just fine. As he scoots back the stool and puts it to the side.
Can I insight check him?
I was gonna say, can I do that as well, or?
Go for it.
My insight's terrible, but who knows? Oh!
Dang it!
Ooh.
Don't think I'm meant to roll tonight.
16. Malvhor, you pick up that some of this he is explaining is a bit more fluff and sugar than what he is actually thinking. In mixed company, you get the feeling that he might be withholding certain information that might be alarming.
Okay.
Just ensure that she's hydrated, and water and a damp cloth to the head will help combat the fever, and by any means an Athelis here and there, if you can procure it, will help fight whatever that she may have come down with. Oh, well. That's good to hear. Nothing to worry about then. Not at this moment, no. Though if it does take a turn, then we'll have to pursue other medical treatment outside of Pelargir. Considering that I don't believe a proper healer has been here for many a time. Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. Will you be staying for dinner, Sir Rador? Oh no, I mustn't. I have work that needs done back in town, and letters to write and much research to still conduct. But if you have need of me, you can call me.
Let me show you the way out, Rador.
Absolutely, thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you. And you, little one, don't call me little one. It was a pleasure, madam.
I'm gonna...
I don't like you. Fair enough. I really... something about you. I don't... That's... Oh. Okay, well, ma'am?
I'll just look down at Laura and go, do you need help with cooking?
Yeah, sure, come on.
Okay. And I'll follow her down.
Rador follows your lead. Malvhor back up the main entrance.
And I walk with him in the direction of town, away from the house for a little bit. So,
While they're going, I'm gonna look at Lady Goldwyn real quick and be like, anything you need help with? Like, if he's gone, fucking Vig's off cooking, like, I don't want to be standing there being like...
Now what?
Yeah, so I'll look at Goldwyn and be like, Madam, is there anything you need help around here with?
You can actually take the pail by the bedside and head out to the well in the back and refill it, please, if you could.
As you wish, and I'll pick it up, and I'm gonna help her with anything while Malvhor's off, because I don't want to stand there being like, okay, I'm here.
Gotcha. Well, lovely home and lovely child, that's for sure.
what's the bad news?
I saw no signs of biting. There doesn't appear to be any indication that she crossed paths with a vampire. Though the symptoms do seem to align slightly. It's just beginning, from what I can tell, but just underneath the gap of the neck, her veins are beginning to darken. Which means whatever is in her is taking hold, and it won't go well. From what I can tell, this isn't a natural illness, but it is indeed a curse of sorts. Without knowing the nature of the curse or who may have put it upon her, I can't fathom how to go about breaking it. I need you to think back how you found her. Do you know who might have put this curse on her?
Mordu was there. It may have been him.
He is our best lead for such a thing. The way I see it, you have two options in front of you. You can run your chance, make haste to a healer of any renown, see what they can do, or you must seek audience with Mordu and get more of an understanding of what this curse is and how we can handle it.
Oh.
Because I'm out of my depth.
You know, for having come across Mordu at least once, I don't know how to go about finding him when I need to find him.
That is a predicament. Especially if time is of the essence.
I guess I could just stroll up to Minas Morgul.
You very well could. I believe the Witch King regards there.
Well, did Locke ever tell us what Mordu said he was riding to?
No. I don't believe so. I don't recall.
I'm gonna go ahead and say yes, since Locke is departed, and that might have been pertinent information. So.
Yeah, I'm going
He
through
would've-
my Kirith Ungol.
Oh.
I was going through my notes to find it. What do you know of a place called Kirith Ungol?
Not much. It's a citadel in the mountains that perched above Minas Ithil. Guards a narrow pass between Gondor and Mordor.
Could you show it to me on
It's
a map?
fort. I could put you in the area for sure. In fact, I believe it resides as you pull out the map that was bequeathed from you from your old friend Wynn.
Oh.
I believe it resides in the mountain range to the east, just here.
Well, you have your notes to get to.
I do, and I appreciate what you've done, and I will just say that if the choice is entirely yours. But if you seek out a healer, you will need one of great renown and in their element. Elven magic is probably the best choice, best course, but the closest settlement of elves is far in the Greenwood.
That is a long journey.
You don't make that journey for a healer. Best to travel with her. Go along. Otherwise, going for a healer and returning with him, it may be too late.
Indeed.
Holy shit,
Sorry.
dude.
Sorry I have to deliver such wish. Oh, I wish I was a scholar of the healing sort, though. That is not my course of action.
I appreciate your counsel, nonetheless, Rador.
It's my pleasure. If you have need of me, you can find me for the rest of the day. I set off late tonight. I have an appointment outside of Pelargir that I must make for, so I won't be in the city for that much longer. But I will return.
It's strange to have an appointment outside the city.
I have many contacts, my friend, and in the state that things have happened within Osgiliath in my own career. You don't discover knowledge and history staying in the city. He gestures to the grander
True,
area.
we did come across
out
you.
there.
We did come across you in the Forest of Ithilien the first time.
I'm not the scholar to sit back at a desk and do research there. History is out there.
I can understand that drive. Thank you, Rador.
Well, welcome.
Until we meet again.
Go with haste. May the Valar be by your side.
And I return to Gold.
continues.
I return to Goldwyn's home.
Part ways and return to Goldwyn just in time as she's ladling stew into bowls and setting out a table and breaking up bread and setting it out. Welcome back. Please have a seat. We've got plenty of stew thanks to Laura and Fig.
Can I
I have no idea where I am.
I want to
Probably in
get
the barn falling up.
I want to do an insight check to get a read on Malvhor's face after speaking with Rador.
And
Go ahead
I
and give me an insight check.
can I argue
Malvhor.
a performance check for putting on an
Oh
act?
no.
Sure.
Oh no.
Where is
I mean-
Cirion during all this?
You're back by now. You're back in the house.
Okay.
They're setting out
So,
dinner. They didn't
I've
order
rolled
you off.
a 3-7-9 and a 3-7. So if this is a 9, I'm gonna be done.
I just rolled a 9.
Oh, 12. A straight 12. Not terrible.
I was looking at your modifier and I was like, please be a 9.
Laura made lunch, did she?
So I helped.
Aye, she cooks like me. Rough around the edges, very rustic.
I
The way I
could
like it.
use a well-cooked meal after traveling for so long.
Well, have at us. We got the rabbit stew.
Cirion's actually like excited. It's like, yes, a home cooked meal.
Made with love.
Yes! What is it that blooper with Full Metal Alchemist? We're having stew for dinner! Fuck yeah!
I love that fucking blooper. When I first saw that, I fell apart in my chair laughing.
That's what that just made me think of.
God damn it.
Fuck yeah!
Aye, we got rabbit stew with some coriander. I even went to the town and got some taters.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
I inhale the stew.
Rinse and repeat. Also scalding.
Whatever. Nom 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 nom.
It's
At
only
this point,
scalding 'cause
Vig just builds an immunity just to fucking heat.
Fire
It's only
cannot
scalding.
kill a dragon.
It's only scalding because I find it funny. Y'all take the better part of half hour to an hour to sit around a table and eat your fill for the most part. There is a few of you pick up on an air of tension
Gee.
of sorts. It's just odd. No one seems to be angry or upset or worried for the most part. Laura and Goldwyn pretty much got good news from Rador. But there's just something in the air that's just not sitting well with most of you. Well, that was delicious. Thank you, Laura and Fig. Fig, you might have a talent in the culinary arts down the road.
What?
Never mind.
Fat. Beg pardon?
Well, you all just got back into town. What's next on your adventuring agenda? Are you sticking in town for long?
I believe our paths will pull us away sooner rather than later, unfortunately, but that is something we must discuss.
I see.
Unfortunately, our work is not done. What we've started is not finished.
Yes. Don't stand in one place too long unless you take roots. It's fine. It's fine. Just do what you have to do. Do you know where you're headed next?
No.
Perception check.
I don't know where I'm headed next. Because it's
Alright,
either
fine.
Kirith Ungol or the Greenwood.
Fair. Fine.
And I need to talk to my party to figure that out.
Well, I shan't keep you all any longer than you have things to do. I have a sick one to attend to and a kitchen to clean.
Yes. I'm sorry to eat and dash on you, Goldwyn. But, it was wonderful to see you again.
As it always is, Malvhor.
I will return tomorrow.
Very well. If you have anything that you need of me, don't hesitate.
And, I gesture for the party to follow me.
I will be right back. As I stand up, I'll put my, dishes away, but then I'm gonna head up to Merwin's room. Slowly and quietly.
Yeah, it's literally on the same. There's one floor. You just go around the corner, go through the threshold to the next room.
Okay. I'll walk inside. I'll kneel or crouch a little, whatever I need to do to just kind of gently, put a hand on her shoulder. And, I'll close my eyes a little bit and I'll grab the, bear tooth necklace around my neck. And I'm just gonna mutter softly the same little, healing incantation that I told her about before. So, I'm just going, bone sprain, so blood sprain, so joint sprain, bone to bone, blood to blood, joints to joints, so they all may be mended. And then I'll slowly stand up, stare down, and then turn and walk away quietly after a nod.
As you stand up from the bedside and just sort of glance down at her, feel your right arm tug, almost like it twitches.
Same as before.
Yeah, similar.
Toward her?
Toward a direction, toward a northeast direction.
So the same as, okay.
Mm.
And not like a huge twitch, just like a...
No, it literally feels like a muscle spasm. Like it doesn't...
Okay. I'll rub the arm a little bit. That again. Then after that pause, I'll just finally turn around and go down and meet up with the others.
Okay. You all reconvene outside the house as the sun begins to dip in the west.
Walk. We best get in the city before curfew begins. Be ashamed to be trapped outside again.
Yes. Are we waiting to be at the parlor to discuss what Rador told you, or...
I look back at the house after we walk a short distance from it. Rador lied. Hey, Maywin will die if we don't do something.
So... Is it the vampire curse?
Not from what he could tell, but it is some measure of curse. And he provided two options. We seek out Mordu, convince him to lift the curse.
Yeah, that's out.
Well, wait till you hear the second option.
Okay.
Mordu is very close.
He's also not the bargaining type.
I'm sure he has something he would want of us, but the second option is much riskier due to how far we would have to travel. But we would need to seek the healing of the elves, and that's not a guarantee. We would have to bring Maywin with us.
To Greenwood.
At the very least, maybe even further.
Will Mana-Ame not be enough?
If we do choose to go that route, I do plan on stopping by and discussing it with her. But I doubt it. Even if she had the skill, her supplies are low. But at the very least, she might be able to point us in a better direction than just the Greenwood.
Based on how my friend healed, the elves could help. My mother is a healer herself.
What if we make that entire journey, though, and there is no help?
I feel as if my friend could have healed from the same, so can she there. However, it is a long journey. Taxing on an ill child. But I also agree with Cirion. I am not keen on seeing Mordu again so soon for a favor.
Who's even say he would grant it to us? Is there any herbs we can use to maybe prolong her condition?
Athelis might help.
Okay, I have one. I think Vig has one also. You gave yours to help her earlier. We can at least use that to stave off the infection, if you want to call it that. Or the sickness, whatever you want to call it as. But Mordu to me is a no-go. You both may think differently, but
Well,
I don't know. He's the one that did it. I doubt he's going to be the one who's going to be willing to undo it. Not without a hefty price.
Do we know for certain it was him? There were others there, were there not?
if it wasn't him, he would know who. It was his party that we crashed. But I am I am loath to go seeking Moldu out. However, it is a given that it is the seemingly quicker path. I must admit I am tempted by it.
It's quicker with heavier consequences. The way to Greenwood is longer, but with little consequence, if that makes sense.
I wouldn't call the potential death of a child if the journey is too harsh.
The journey is too harsh, but who's to say Mordu won't just say no?
That is also likely. That's also a possibility. But Mordu, we know, is embroiled in a civil war, so he would need something done. Or something. There's always something he wants.
And he seems like you're gonna topple the city kind of type.
True.
We may also get more involved with his efforts than we want to right now, if we go there.
I don't know. My mind is made up. I don't want to see this child suffer any more than she has to. But Mordu is... It's going to be way too consequential. So that's my input.
If we go to the Greenwood, we have to bring Maywin, which means we have to tell Goldwyn.
Do you think she might want to come with the child?
Also a possibility.
She will want to come, whether she can or not is a different...
Do you know how Goldwyn can handle herself in a battle?
I don't know if... Is Goldwyn a fighter? I think she has probably some, at least some. She grew up, given the culture she grew up in, but I don't know if she's a fighter.
Yeah, you have no knowledge of any fighting history with her.
Okay. Well, maybe on the road I can give her fencing lessons.
I don't want to put her in danger, but we're making a lot of assumptions here at this point.
Well, danger likes to find us, Malvhor, so what do you propose?
She might not even come, right?
Okay.
It may be best anyways if she doesn't.
That's
if
why.
She doesn't, good. If she does, good. She's gonna learn an extra skill on the trip.
Oh.
Look, we need to sit down and talk to her about this.
Why don't
or
we
at least
sleep on
Malvhor
it
does.
first?
This is not really... I don't think we need to sleep on it. If we waste any more time, it's gonna give more risk of this spreading. Malvhor, you need to talk to her as soon as possible.
I actually do agree with the captain on this one.
I'm the captain.
It is up to you.
Talk to her tonight. If she needs to sleep on it, think about it. Fine, but the more time we waste, the more time that this is going to spread. Malvhor, I'll leave the talking to her to you.
Give me the hard job, why don't you?
Do you want me to tell her?
No.
Didn't think so. We'll be in the room with you if that makes things better, but we're not gonna tell her.
No, I'll do it alone.
Very good. Come on, Vig. Let's go... I don't know, fuck off over there or something. I'm just gonna point randomly, like, to the barn or something.
What?
Just come with me.
Oh. I'll follow, but I'll go a little further to get, like, closer to, I guess, any trees that are nearby or whatever. And I'm actually just gonna plop down on the ground, cross-legged, and I'm just gonna start meditating and do my meditation thing.
Okay, so you're actually gonna meditate?
Yeah, as he speaks with Goldwyn.
Okay, go ahead and give me a meditation check.
Sarah's gonna watch her meditate and go, what? Forget it.
Quiet.
Quiet.
Sarah just goes like, okay.
Oh, finally!
So, do you have your 3 questions off the top of your head?
Oh, I always forget that's the mechanic.
Alright.
Why don't you?
think
They're
on
not.
that one.
Yeah, there are. I don't remember. They're not yes and no questions, right? Or are they?
It's the same as the research lore, essentially.
All right.
They're
Yes.
they're not necessarily yes or no.
Okay.
They can be.
Okay.
But
Then come back to me. I'll be ready when you're done.
gotcha. Malvhor, you turn on your heel and head back to the cottage, and only a handful of minutes have passed. You knock on the door, and this time you're greeted by Goldwyn. Oh, you're back so soon. So
Yeah.
did you forget something? Something come up?
Understatement.
Can I come in?
Yes, sure.
Please, take a seat.
What's this about?
Oh,
I
shit.
will sit down. And I'm going to You deserve the truth. Rador lied to you.
I'm sorry. What?
Is she sitting?
What do you mean he lied? I knew it. He wasn't really an advisor to the king.
He
What
is.
an advisor to the king do be in here?
We saved his life in Osgiliath a long time ago. He owes us. We've been intertwined with him, but he wanted to spare your feelings.
Feelings.
Merwin's illness is not natural.
What does that even mean?
He doesn't know exactly what it is, but he knows she has been cursed.
Cursed? By
when
Cursed
she
by
was
what?
when she was kidnapped.
Hey,
We can save her. We can heal her still.
how?
It is two difficult options. Probably
Where have
the
they gone?
first option is we could seek out the one who cursed her. That is a very dangerous option. As I won't go into the details, but it is dangerous and you can use your imagination. The second option is we take her, Merwin, up to the Greenwood. Elven magics would save her. That is a long and difficult journey. You, being her mother and caring for her, should have all the options laid before you.
This is a lot to take in right now.
I know.
What happens? What? How much time do we have?
We don't know. He said the Atlas will help. But there's not enough time for us to journey to the Greenwood and bring a healer back. There is enough time to take her there.
It's a long journey. She's not even fully saddle trained. Can they help? Will they be able to fix this?
Big has experience with them healing such curses before. So it is possible.
No, I don't know. She's my little girl. I can't.
Goldwyn. I will not let her die.
What option is best? No. Whatever sees an end to this the quickest, I don't know.
The quickest would be to parley with the being that cursed her.
You know who that is?
I have a lead. But there is much dealing with someone known as the Mouth of Sauron. While may save Merwin, will not end well for me. Trip to the Greenwood is longer. It is my suggestion to seek out the elves. We have first-hand testimony of their healing magics in this situation. And it is a journey that can be made. That is the path I would choose, but if you would ask me of it, if you would ask me for the quick solution, I would seek out Mordu.
I want this resolved as quickly as it can be, but this is your decision.
If we go
You do what you think will be right. You have the knowledge here of where to go and who to find and who to talk to fix my little girl. I can't do this. And she gets up and walks out. As you watch her walk across the room and out the door into the pasture, you see leaning against the wall as the door closes is Lara with her arms crossed.
She deserved to know.
That was a lot to unpack.
It is. We will need to prepare the child for a journey to the Greenwood.
You think that's wise? In her condition?
There is no easy, there is no good answer here. Would you have me court a lieutenant of Sauron.
It's not for me to say. It's not mine. There's a snowball's chance in Mordor, she's yours. What a chance.
I mean, I feel like the chance is greater than that, but...
Well, that's a debate for another day.
Would you come with us?
I left the Greenwood a long time ago. I have no interest in going back. Tell you this. It's not for me to say. Choice is better. Choice is worse. They're both shite.
They are both shite.
Picking one evil over another, what's the difference? In this situation, it sounds like you have a choice either to sacrifice yourself, sacrifice someone else. Choice is yours. He walks out.
Ooh.
Oh. Oh.
And for a moment, words sort of echo in your head. The extremely wounded Cirion. There will come a time you have to make a decision, or you may very well lose a piece of yourself.
Oh god. Oh.
I stand and I go out to the pasture where Goldwyn is.
You find her with a horse next to her, just sort of like resting up against her. She just sort of like strokes the side of its mane and just looks up at the sky.
I've made a decision. I will seek out Mordu.
Oh.
You motherfucker.
Then you must do it in haste.
I don't know if or when I will see you again, Goldwyn, but I will do everything in my power, to my last breath, to restore Maywyn to you.
I know.
And know that I never...
How many of your company will be going with you?
Hopefully they will join me, but I will walk alone if I must.
There will be no walking. You ride. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
What? No! Wait, I was meditating!
Right! What's your meditation questions? Epilogue.
Epilogue.
End credit scene. Fig sitting there going,
Oh.
What are your questions?
I'm envisioning in my mind, what?
I was like, you weren't thinking at all. You were too caught up in what was going on.
No, I wrote my questions.
Okay.
So in my head, I'm picturing home, Greenwood, the forest, and just everything, and family and whatnot. And then I'm also picturing when first meeting Mordu, and I'm basically trying to use a gut feeling question of asking or determining which would be the better path.
Alright. focus in your mind's eye, and you're immediately brought to a lush green forest full of life and nature and all sorts of just warmth that feels like home to you, because it is. You see glimpses of the Elven King's Hall and a procession of elves that are either feasting and dancing under starlight or traversing the infamous elven path through the wood. You see a familiar face of a healer, one that you've been accustomed to call a mother of sorts. You see Merwin in front of her being tended to. It appears that she's frantic. The healer is reaching back and forth for various herbs and pestles and mortars and trying to work towards something, and you see strewn around various dirted cloths, some coated in blood, some just dirt and other debris. Oh no, it seems very, very tense, very questionable. You sort of blink and your vision changes to a black and broken land, almost parched of water, but an intense heat that you've not really felt before. And if you were to be there breathing, the vapors of the air itself seem to choke and poison. You sort of go up a winding mountain staircase of sorts. You come to a jagged fort that sits within the mountains, guarding a tunnel or a pass that goes deeper into the mountain range. You find yourself with your companions before a black throne with a familiar helmed individual with eyes covered and a large, toothy, yellow grin as he leans on his throne, gestures out with his hand, and you see a vapor of blackish green smoke of sorts as it sort of wisps in his hand and around his arm. And for a moment you see as the wisping air sort of takes a shape. An unconscious Merwin face. And his fingers reel in and the image disappears. While the answer you search for in this instance doesn't appear to be clear of which one might be better over the other, you are given solace in the fact that you get the understanding that Mordu does have familiarity, intimate familiarity, with this curse. But both options remain as questionable as they did before, shrouded in mystery and whether or not either one is a correct path.
That does not help me at all. Okay. Crap. That's not helpful at all. I wrote questions based on how that first one would be answered, and it was not answered how I anticipated at all. Which I should have known that would have been the case. Okay, is there anything we as the Fellowship can do to help prolong the progress of her illness, regardless of which path we take. Like, will Athelsel help, or other normal healing means, or otherwise that might be a little more creative or open-minded to work with.
Without a full understanding of the nature of the curse, it is hard for even for your own mind to meditate on such a question. Athelis will help with side effects or symptoms. But unfortunately, with the nature of curses in either having some sort of magical aspect to them, most normal ways of healing or conventional medicine will mostly do nothing to actually stop it. They're more or less comfort items.
I don't like this. Alright, third question. Alright, which one do I pick?
Almost like this was supposed to be an impossible decision.
Uh-huh. That's fine. Is there... It's probably a dumb question to ask, but I guess I'll go for it. Is there any potential method or leverage we may have and may be able to utilize against Mordu to have him comply if we go to him? This session started with me having anxiety. It's ending with me having anxiety.
Well, I mean, I don't have anxiety anymore. The course has been decided in Malvhor's mind.
Yeah, well, we don't know that yet.
You think, sort of going through all sorts of things that might appear of value, worth bartering or having leverage. You think back on some of the things you may have come across. You do have a piece of correspondence that you picked up off of an orc messenger a week ago on your way back to Osgiliath that might have some information that you might be able to find use in. Beyond that, you have this leather tome of Rador's that he might be very much interested in. After that, the only thing you can recurringly think of, because you keep dismissing it as not an option, but it keeps popping back up. Service. Offering your service. Oh. That's where we're going to end tonight. As
I'll just...
Fellowship returns to Pelargir and receives some unwanted news, as things have taken a bit of a sour turn that's hit a little bit closer to home than they probably wished it to. But a course has been set. Next week we will pick up Fellowship wrapping up anything they wished to here in Pelargir, parting for Kenneth Ungol.
Oh, goody.
We'll pick up next week.
Oh.
thanks for joining us tonight. This week, the first episode of our podcast, Vicious Mockery, releases, I believe, on Thursday. Yes, Thursday, the 19th. So do us a favor. It's going to be available at wherever you get podcasts at. So we got 6 episodes coming for you. The first one is this Thursday, and we're going to be releasing every other week on Thursday. So should get you through to March, I believe. And we're going to be recording some other things. So please give us feedback. Let us know what you think. We hope to improve things as we continue to do stuff. It's literally chaos. It's mostly Kevin and I talking about random
We're just
shit.
fucking around, essentially. Just come, have a good time, sit, listen, have your favorite drink, get a snack, enjoy.
Yeah. So look forward to that. The rest of our schedule is as it is. So everything is copacetic for this week. So thank you so much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. Rest of us will be back here to continue this next Tuesday. Have a good night and stay proficient.
My tummy hurts. Bye.